Hi everybody, I'm Jess and I'm here. We're going to talk about the Identity Art Journal download and creating your very own art journal with those downloads. So I have a couple of techniques that I want to talk about, and basically I just want to give you some tools to be free and create and do something really beautiful. In the end, this journal is for you. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be just like I do it. It just has to come from you and make you feel whatever you're feeling while you're creating it. So I'm going to start. So I have our download here. We've got some words and some textures and pictures, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I love to do. So let's start with the words, and I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques of cutting these out. Let's put those over there. So the word that jumps out to me the most is artistic, and what we can do is we can cut it out or tear it out. I'm going to go ahead and use my trusty scissors. I also have a cutting mat and an X-Acto knife. You can use that if you want. Or I'm going to show you some ways that you can control your tearing. Controlled tearing is one of my favorite things. With this, we're just going to go ahead and cut it out. I like to get close to that, but then I'm also going to cut this into some smaller portions so that when you're cutting, you have a little bit more control instead of trying to weave your way around. So just go ahead in here, cut them into some smaller sections so that they're easier for you to use. There's artistic. So we can go back to that afterwards. So I get mesmerized when I'm cutting. I like to go really slow and get in those little corners. Have a nice sharp pair of scissors. These are my trusty scissors that have been with me for years and might be stuck together with a little bit of glue, so it might be time to get a new pair of scissors, but just like to go nice and slow, and you can show how you can just create depth with your final images, because when you don't just cut it straight, get these little pieces where the backgrounds are going to show through, and you're going to put so much effort into these fun backgrounds that you want to show that. So I could even go all the way up here. In here. And I just get lost just in cutting. It's really fun. See, like when you have these little areas, if you had just cut that straight, you wouldn't be able to see some textural differences. So if I put this on top of here, I'm going to be able to see more through the background. So that's fun. So let's let's do, let's see. Weird. I'm pretty weird. I think that is something that I have always been afraid of being, but I actually love the fact that I'm weird. So we're gonna tear this one. And when I tear, I don't just like rip it. I really try to go super slow. And you have so much more control over the paper than you think that you do. But you have to go real slow. And you just kind of get in and you pinch it and you pull it. You have to pay attention to the direction that you're going. But you can really get some interesting aspects to the paper when you tear. And even with tearing, you want to do a little bit more than you think that you need, because it can go kind of wonky on you and you can go too far. So you can always go back and tear a little bit more. There we go. Get all in there, and you can get down by that E, come back up over the I, and then you can go back down. Follow that T. There you go. I'm gonna actually go back in and tear a little bit more. And then you can just make things a lot more dynamic. So there's that. Let's see, what other words describe me? I'm definitely joyful. This one I'm gonna go straight for it. Also with these words, you can put it underneath your paper with your light board and do a trace on that, and you can get it and outline it with your pens and get it right on the paper, and that's really cool. That's an effect you can do as well. So I'm gonna cut out some more of these words and then come back to you in a little bit. And let's just like talk about some other things. So these ones I'm probably gonna put a little bit of color into, and maybe put something on the mirror that I think reflects myself. But let's look at some backgrounds right now. I'm thinking I love this one right here. So if I want a straight edge, obviously I can use my scissors. I can also bust out my trusty cutting mat. I love this. I use that with my X-Acto knife, so that's a really good way of cutting things out. I think with this I want some like rough edges, but I don't want super rough edges. So I'm gonna use my ruler and I'm gonna put it sort of on the edge where I want it, and I'm gonna pull. See what happens. And I'm just gonna go ahead, finish that off and see what happens over here too. That's actually pretty cool. I like what's happening there. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna take this edge off. Always keep all these little guys in a little pile for yourself. because you never know what you might want to do with it. Ooh, sorry. I have a bin just filled with like just scraps of stuff. And it's like, that's like the fun bin. You can always go back to that at any point and pull out some like super fun stuff. So we're just gonna start pulling some stuff out and like kind of feeling around and seeing what we like. Let's see. Loving these polka dots. It really helps if you make that sound too when you're ripping paper. Make sounds. It's fun. It's good stuff. So if I tear the paper sort of up towards itself, you get some of that fun texture right there. You can just sort of let the paper tell you what it wants to do. Ooh. That's good stuff. I like those textures together. And I always like to sort of look at the big picture, and if there's some polka dot action going on over here, you might want to put a little polka dot action going on over here. So. That look pretty there. Nothing's like, you know, set in stone until you glue it down, so you can always change stuff too. Use the hard edges, use the soft edges. Play around, have fun. So I'm actually going to set the journal aside and add a little color to these guys. I'm like being drawn to this right now. So let's and you can trace these onto the watercolor paper. I'll do that at some point. For the art journaling, like, I'm cool if it's not perfect. So if you want to just paint right on these, which I do, you know, it's really just about having fun and expressing yourself. So just have fun with it. Breathe. Take that time for yourself. Want some music on. Make pretty colors. I like that purple. You guys know what the zone is? It's like that place that you get to when you're creating things. It's like the happiest place on earth. That's what these art journals are about. It's about like letting everything go. Meditating your way into that place in your soul that feels happy. Okay, so what I did here was I just took some of my ripped and torn pieces and I laid them out and glued them down with my trusty glue stick. and just kind of paid attention to the way that things flow and tried to just do something that I felt looked really fun. And I'm gonna glue that down a little bit there. And now I'm gonna finish it off with a couple more layers, and I'm gonna make sure to leave some spots to do my journaling. And you guys can just be with me while I finish it off. So here we go. That's it. I'm just me. So this was what came out of me. So I really want to know, and want to know you more, and I hope that I showed you one or two things that can help you create something that's super you, and that will make you feel amazing while you make it and after, to look back on something that you did. So that's it. We'll see you next time for the next art journal. Thanks so much.